tema.
You have been everywhere.
My daughter will be soon delivering.
No. Little surprise, nice. So we just discussed, we'll continue, we discussed already first who is Caitanya Mahaprabhu, what is Ras Lila, and the chapter 13, and how Mahaprabhu ran to hear Gita Govinda, and actually this is a parallel of the gopis running for the rasa dance. So now we will go further, starting with chapter 14, and there are some more secrets that is very interesting and very enlivening. Caitanya Mahaprabhu was in Puri in complete madness of separation, and this madness of separation was very, very deep and very astonishing. He was sometimes in the mood of Uddhava, coming to Vrindavan. Sometimes he was in the mood of Radharani, being in Kurukshetra. Always his mood changed, and it was like a drama itself, but very transcendental and very amazing. because Radharani has this Mahabhav that we just spoke, why Radharani becomes jealous in the Rasa dance, because she has this Mahabhav, it's a manifestation of the Mahabhav, because she sees in the Mahabhav all Prakash, all the worlds of the different gopis. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was himself in this Mahabhav and was completely absorbed in the Rasa dance. He saw suddenly in this absorption, he saw Krishna, and sometimes even he felt he's himself Krishna. Always his moods were changing. Sometimes the mood of Radharani, so sometimes mood of Krishna always changing. And he saw that Krishna suddenly appeared in front of him, and he saw Krishna and the gopis dancing around Krishna. And this is another secret, that there is different opinions. Some say Krishna has manifested himself as so many gopis. This is what we before spoke, Prabhav Prakash. He manifests himself, and there is for each gopi there is a Krishna. But there is one problem in this conception, because see, now one gopi has two Krishnas. No, on each side then is a Krishna. So she has two Krishnas, and this is not so favorable. So which Krishna is there? But Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says this is actually no problem, because Yoga Maya covered one of these Krishna, so only she was actually dancing with one of them. But there is another perspective that some Vishwanath Chakravarti say the second option is also that Krishna was dancing so fast in the Rasa dance that he was actually in the middle, but like a firebrand just moved so fast. Krishna was moving so fast between the gopis and dancing with each gopi. There he says, but this conception has no problems. So there's a lot of Naravat Lila in it, and many people like this, how Krishna is actually personally dancing with each so swiftly. So in that way, Mahaprabhu was performing his pastimes in Puri, and he became more and more eager to relish these pastimes. We said before that how more and more his eagerness. He was in Vrindavan, he attempted to go, then he went to South India, then again he attempted, and finally the third time he reached Vrindavan, and now his moods are more and more increasing in the heart, and he just wants to run to Vrindavan, but he's in Puri, but his heart is running there on the chariot of his mind. So then it happened, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, maybe David we can put, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to the temple, and there was a woman from Orissa, like inhabitant there, and she was so eager. She was very old, but she was so eager to see Jagannath, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stood always near the Garuda Stamba, because when he stood near the Garuda Stamba, he could actually cover Baladev and Subhadra and only see Jagannath. In that way, his mood of Radharani on seeing only Krishna was so much increasing. Otherwise he felt he's in Kurukshetra, seeing Balaram and Subhadra. But in that way he felt he's in Vrindavan and his mood increased. So there came an old woman. And this woman was so eager, and she just climbed Mahaprabhu on the shoulder and looked very eagerly to Jagannath. Mahaprabhu was so astonished. He was happy that at least someone is eager to see the Lord. But Govinda, the servant, saw it, and he called her, "Hey, Adivas, how is it that you climb here? My Lord, you want to see Jagannath for your satisfaction?" She climbed. And Chaitanya Govinda rebuked her, said, "Please, you come down. How can you climb the Lord?" And then Mahaprabhu said, "Hey Adivas, hey, you are uncivilized, Govinda. Finally someone is eager to see the Lord and now you want to hinder her?" So he begged for forgiveness. But Caitanya Mahaprabhu, he said, Lord Jagannath has bestowed so much eagerness upon her. May I have also this eagerness that she has to see Krishna. Alas, how fortunate this woman is. I pray at her feet to favor me with her great eagerness to Lord Jagannath. In that way, he was very eager to see the Lord. Now, where are we in Rasavila? The gopis run out to the forest to see Krishna, but to see the Lord, it's not so easy. Maybe we skip and we come later to this chapter, or maybe we can still do it now, in case we don't have time. So the gopis run to Krishna, and Krishna greeted them. Imagine, they left everything, any shyness, and it is said that like a puppeteer pulls the puppet with the strings, in that way Krishna with his flute pulled all the gopis in the forest. And they were so much attracted, they left everything. But Krishna is such a good thief, he, through the ears, enters the heart and steals everything. But it is said that when the gopis run to the forest, their kundal, their earrings were swinging forth and back. What does this mean? That actually the gopis, Krishna didn't steal the external ornaments of the gopis, but their hearts. Treasure, he stole that. So they run all to the forest, and Krishna said, Swagatam Bhagavati. Hey, welcome. You are very fortunate ladies to come to the forest. How can I please you? Is everything well in Braj? Please tell me the reason for your coming. Krishna was very unexpectedly speaking. They left everything and Krishna greeted them in that way. The night is frightening and many creatures are around. Better is you return. See, have you come here to just pick some flowers? The time for picking flowers is now not so good in the night. And further, there are many snakes and horrible animals behind the leaves, so if you put your arm there, it's very dangerous. So better you don't do this now. Go home to Braj. Not finding you at home, everybody's in great anxiety, all your family. So what will they do? Everybody is searching for you. I think maybe you have come here just for sightseeing. I feel you have seen the moon, the flowers, everything. You can turn home. The beauty you have seen and the Yamuna and the breeze that comes from there. Go back to the cowherd village, don't delay. Oh chaste ladies, your husband are waiting and the baby is crying. So the gopis, they could not say anything. They just stood silent there. But actually everything that Krishna spoke in such a contrary mood had a very internal meaning that was actually saying how pleased he is that they are coming. Then he said, actually, it's normal that everybody comes to me in one way. Because I'm the super soul, so everybody runs to me. This is normal. But still, the supreme duty of a woman is to follow the husband's duty. Serve the husband. So therefore, better you go home. Even if the husband is ugly, poor, not qualified. But still, the duty is there. So better you go home. It is very bad and will ruin your reputation when you stay here. So better you go home. Maybe you think by coming here you come close to me, but no, physical proximity is not giving the real result of association. By chanting and meditating, this is really, there you get the result. So don't fear, go home. Why don't you put your smile on your faces and return home? But the gopis were completely silent. Their tears were flowing down. The kachal make a black line, and it was as if cutting the gopis in two parts. They scratched the floor and they looked down, completely in silence. What should they say? Now there is a deep reason why Krishna was very contrary at that moment. Because he wanted to see the eagerness of the gopi. It is also said, generally when one lover and the beloved comes together, everyone has his mood. But if the lover, the beloved is always in Dakshinbhav, means in a contrary mood, she always hides her real feelings. So the gopis are from very good families, they are very shy, so they will never reveal what they really have in their heart, but they were always a bit contrary to Krishna, not allowing him to approach. So also they run to the forest, but Krishna now took a contrary role because he wanted that they reveal their heart. Sometimes if you go in a contrary role, then they reveal their heart. It is given an example that a woman looks very beautiful in very soft, beautiful clothes, but sometimes a husband wants also to see her wife naked. So in the same way, Krishna sometimes wants to feel and see the real feelings and moods of the gopis. Therefore, he took a contrary role so that they impart their real feelings. And as Krishna is doing this, putting the gopis in great separation so that the real feeling manifests, the gopis start to speak Pranay Gita. These are 11 verses where they reveal the heart to Krishna. And it's very interesting in Bhagavatam that it is said that Parikshit Maharaj realized his Siddha Swarup while hearing this Pranay Gita in that part of Srimad Bhagavatam. So it's a very, very deep part. And we will now come to this part. We go back to Caitanya Lila. So Caitanya Mahaprabhu was completely absorbed, and seeing this woman from Orissa, his eagerness became so great, and he wanted to have this eagerness as the woman from Orissa. He had many times a vision, and sometimes even Caitanya Mahaprabhu began to lament and paint with his fingers on the floor. The same with the gopis. Before speaking Pranay Gita, they just about Krishna's contrary words, they were just silent. Caitanya Mahaprabhu now completely lost himself. This eagerness came in his heart, and he just wanted to leave everything. And he came in the mood of a Kapalika yogi. Kapalika yogi, maybe when you go through India, there are these people, like they dress as a sannyasi in red clothes, they have a skull, a trident, they are full of ashes. They're very fearful yogis. They left everything. So Caitanya Mahaprabhu, he came into the mood of this Kapalika yogi. It's actually a Sanchari Bhav that came in the heart of Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Sometimes great souls, they feel very despondent. Also they have the qualification to see Krishna. Also they even see him, But if they lose him any time, they have the Sanchari bath of Nishad, Nirved and Vishad. This is the despondency. You feel yourself very worthless and fallen, and also you have this despondency, you admit that you are not qualified. So this came in Mahaprabhu's heart. We see this also in our Acharya's writings. For example, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, maybe we speak on Sunday something about it. We can ask the question, does Bhaktivinoda Thakur really feel this, what he writes, this song in Sharanagati? Or is it just a feeling he expresses that he's so fallen and worldly attached for us because we are so bound in the material world? But no, these are certain bhavs that come in his heart, Nirved and Vishad, that manifest these kind of feelings. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu felt suddenly like this yogi, and her mind completely left all social rules. This yogi, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually was describing this yogi. This yogi left all rules and everything and went just begging to Vrindavan, from house to house. What was he going for? Bhiksha? He wanted the remnants of Krishna's Rupa, Guna, Lila, to keep him alive. The only thing that could keep Mahaprabhu, also this yogi, alive, that is actually the feelings of Mahaprabhu, was pastimes and the Rupa and Guna Lila from Krishna. How was this yogi dressed? The ring of Krishna's Ras Lila was the earring of this yogi. So Shukadev made this ring, and this earring always was on the ear of the yogi. Means Mahaprabhu always listened to Srimad Bhagavatam, especially the Ras Lila. The bowel, he had a bowel of aspirations. Just went and put the aspirations in front of everyone, begging for the mercy. And a bag of expectations on the shoulder. A torn quilt of anxiety, and was full of dust and ashes. He cried, "O Krishna, alas!" And the 12 bangles of distress were always making a sound. The mind was studying poetry of Vrindavan's pastimes all the time. And this yogi was called Mahabol, like someone who is a great mendicant. And he had 10 disciples, his senses. And this yogi sent his 10 disciples out to beg fruits, roots and leaves, the remnants of the gopis. This is what senses was absorbed. So he gives an analogy here, how his mind was a mystic yogi, and this yogi sits where Krishna performed his pastimes. There's a pavilion in the garden, and the yogi sits there and is absorbed in meditation. My mind fled, leaving my body, his place of residence empty, thus I am completely in trance. So Mahaprabhu is here in a very deep state of emotion and trance, and he's explaining that all his senses that we after hear of the Raslila have gone out of his body just to get something of Krishna, to taste Krishna, the remnants that the gopis have tasted. And in that way, this yogi, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, was completely absorbed. And it is said that this yogi was completely emancipated, didn't eat, didn't go for the bodily duties or to maintain herself or himself. So Mahaprabhu, it is said, as a potter turned the how do you say, this disc for the potter. So in the same way, to maintain his life, to eat and sleep, it was only a habit. And like the potter's wheel is just turning automatically, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took a little care of his body, but actually internally he was completely absorbed. Caitanya Mahaprabhu was in such great ecstasy that sometimes he went outside of Gambhir in the night and he went to the Simhadwar gate. The Sarup Damodar and Govinda, they were very in anxiety. Where has my Lord gone? And they went out and they found him near the cows, and all his joints were elongated, completely out of order. So whenever one is touched of Krishna, one comes out of one's form. So in the same way, when Krishna greeted the gopis and welcomed them, and speaking very contrary, Krishna put the gopis in a completely different form in Dakshin Bhav, where they revealed their intimate heart and their love to Krishna. Caitanya, can we put the second? Caitanya Mahaprabhu was so much internally absorbed that one day he went along the beach. He saw a hill, the Chatak Parvat, and he felt, oh, this is Govardhan. Whatever he saw, he was so absorbed because his yogi, the mind and the senses, in this Karpalika yogi, these analogies, saying that all he could experience, all his senses went to Vrindavan, means whatever he could experience, Mahaprabhu was only Vrindavan, begging for the remnants of Krishna. So Mahaprabhu went along the beach and saw Chatak Parvat, and he started to feel this is Govardhan. He mistook it for Govardhan, was just running. And he says a beautiful verse, Hantaya Mantir Abala Haridasa Varyo. He sings this verse from Venu Gita, how Krishna, how the gopis say, we heard the perspective that I explained to you about Krishna, how he was trying to play flute, and he was directing the sound on different objects to get the siddhi of playing flute that he can call Radha and Krishna. So, but in Venu Gita of Shukadev Goswami, the perspective of the gopis towards Krishna playing the flute is described. Why is it like this? There's a very deep meaning. Because, first of all, Shukadev Goswami is in the mood of the gopis, therefore he describes their perspective. And then the second thing is that it is said that Purvarag, this emotion of love, is first manifested in the women. So therefore, the gopis actually first felt a great love for Krishna, and therefore Shukadev Goswami is in Venu Gita writing about the perspective of the gopis. So then they praise all the objects that came just in their front, the deer, the cloud, the cows, the earth. They put their feelings on these objects, just reflected on their objects. But then they understand, actually, if we want to reach Krishna, there is only one way. We need the mercy of great devotees. Otherwise, how you can reach your goal? So the gopis say, we have to worship Giriraj Govardhan, because he's the greatest servant. He not even gives leaves, grass, waterfalls and everything. Actually, he gives his whole body for serving Krishna. So we should also give our whole body to serve our beloved Krishna. So in that way, in this Purvarag, the gopis were speaking, and Mahaprabhu was completely absorbed in Giriraj Govardhan. But everybody was afraid. Mahaprabhu not anymore. And Swarup Damodar, Chakadananda, Gadadhar, Ramai, Nandai, Shankara Pandit, everybody went out to search him. They went here and there, till they finally found him. But how they found him. He was like, all hairs stood on end, like kadamba flowers, and blood and perspiration flowed out from his body. And he makes a gargling sound, gaga, gaga. He didn't speak really. Unlimited tears like the Yamuna flowed from his eyes. His body faded and quivered. Govinda sprinkled a little water from his kamandalu of Mahaprabhu, and he began to fan Mahaprabhu. But he was completely in ecstatic emotion. But as he came a bit to external consciousness, he shouted, Haribol! Haribol! And he said, why are you all here? And why have you brought me here? I went to Govardhan Hill and I saw Krishna. And I saw him climbing Govardhan Hill and playing the flute as he grazed the cow. And as he played the flute, we all gopis ran to him to meet with him. And I saw Radharani and Krishna entering a cave. And while Radha and Krishna entered a cave at Viraj Govardhan, I went to pick some beautiful flowers to decorate them. In that way, hearing that, he wept and wept in this condition. But then, Paramananda Puri, who is a disciple of Madhavendra Puri and Brahmananda Puri, he is a godbrother of Keshava Bharati, they arrived. And as Mahaprabhu seeing his seniors, he stopped, he controlled his emotions, and he just offered them respect. So in that way, Mahaprabhu was absorbed in Krishna playing the flute and running to him and picking flowers. And there are very beautiful pastimes that happened there in the Rasa dance. For example, one time Radha and Krishna were together in a cave, and as they come out, meeting with the other gopis, Radharani, she noticed that her mekhala, her waist ring was missing. So she gave a sign to her maidservant, and she went in and took the waist ring. And when nobody could see, she bound it again on Radharani's waist, so nobody had any idea what was happened in the cave of Viraj Govardhan. So in that way, many pastimes. Actually, Ras Leela is not only Krishna dancing with the gopis, but Ras Leela are many pastimes that are combined with Ras Leela, like bathing, wandering like Van Vihar, wandering through the forest, being on the chulan, playing Holi, or drinking madhupan, the honey, being very intoxicated. And Pranay Git is actually, it is said the days where Pranay Git was spoken, that day the Madhupan Lila was not happening. Also Madhupan Lila is in the Ashtakalila Lila, Madhupan Lila said it's coming every day. But it is said on that day it was not necessary. Why? Because Krishna gives the gopis a lot of wine, honey wine to drink, so they get so intoxicated and they start to speak very freely. They speak their feelings without shyness. So at that day, when Krishna spoke contrary, he already revealed the real feelings of the gopis that they had in their heart. So in that way, on that day, when Pranay Gita was spoken, actually the Madhupan Lila had not to manifest, because already the gopis were speaking very freely from their heart, because now they were revealing how much they love Krishna and that they will never go home to Braj. Because what would they do in Braj? If they would go home, it would only be the body going home, because their mind had been stolen by Krishna. So the gopis said, if you want that we go home, then at least give us back our mind. But as long as you don't give back our mind, how we can go back to Braj? It's not possible. We are completely empty. And see, if we go back, if only the body goes back, then what we do? We churn, when our mother-in-law wants that we churn butter or yogurt or milk, whatever, then what we do, we are so absorbed in Krishna, we just take mustard seeds and we just start to churn mustard seeds. Because we just think of you, Krishna. Mustard seeds are the black. So we just think of you, and when they find out what we do, then they feel we are mad or we are sick. So Krishna, what should we do? Give us back our mind. So this was the condition of the gopis. Now we come to the next chapter. This is a very beautiful chapter. This is relating to chapter 13, the Raslila. But first we want to again go to Gaur-lila. So Mahaprabhu just maintained himself like a potter's wheel, like automatically, internally he was so absorbed, but externally he just maintained himself. He said he was completely absorbed and he had a problem. He said, what should I do with my 5 senses? These 5 senses of mine appear like thieves. They want to just plunder Krishna's property. All of them want just always to go to Krishna and plunder everything of Krishna. But my mind that holds all the senses is like a horse. But if one horse runs in different directions, then what should I do? There will be a complete mess and I will be destroyed internally. I cannot control and I have completely lost the control. But what it is my fault? I cannot do anything. It's just Krishna's beauty, the sound, the touch, the fragrance, the taste that is completely attractive. It's just a horse ridden in 5 directions at once. In that way, Mahaprabhu's heart shattered, and he said, Krishna's words are so astounding. When he speaks with the woman, all my senses and mind just wants to go there. But when my senses feel the cooling touch of Krishna, all my senses want to go there. And when I smell the sweet fragrance of Krishna, all the senses want to go there. Or when I have the taste of Krishna's sweet lips combined with the camphor of his beautiful smile, all my senses want to go there. So I completely ripped apart. And he caught the neck of Roy Ramananda and Swarup Damodar and said, please my friend, listen, where is my Krishna? Where can I find him? So this complete ecstasy increased more and more day by day. Mahaprabhu was completely absorbed in the beauty of Krishna. Now there is a beautiful lila that is described in Caitanya Charitamrita. One day, while going to the beach, Mahaprabhu saw some flower garden. He went there, but as he entered the garden, what he saw? His senses, what they saw, Vrindavan. Beautiful flower garden, because when he saw hill, he only saw Govardhan. When he saw a garden, his only thing is the flower garden. This is Vrindavan, the beautiful forest. So he went through this garden and was just searching for Krishna. Because when the gopis disappeared from the rasa dance, Krishna left with Radharani, and the gopis were very in great anxiety and looking for Krishna. Maybe can you stop shortly? Maybe I can quickly put this in. Caitanya, the gopis, they danced with Krishna after Pranay Gita. Krishna was very happy after hearing their words of love and smiled. And they started to dance, to be together. They had beautiful pastimes. But as they danced together, the gopis felt a little pride in their heart. Now is and Krishna left. So why this all happened? Why do the gopis become proud? We always hear the gopis are the greatest servant of the Lord. Now there comes the question, why do they become proud? And it's very important that all feelings that they have in the Ras Leela especially, it's not a material feeling. Actually, the whole action of the Ras Leela are anubhavs of the gopis and of Radha and Krishna, means expressions, external expressions of their inner ecstasies. This is anubhavs. So this is actually only the action of Ras Leela. But as they were dancing, they became proud, and Krishna, seeing this pride, he left the Rasa dance. But how is it that they become proud? Actually, it's not a material feeling they had. Krishna was the greatest hero. He was the most beautiful, the most considerate, gentle, affectionate, charming. The gopis understood that actually he has all these qualities. And Krishna, after speaking Pranay Gita, after they have spoken Pranay Gita, Krishna was so loving with them and gave them so much attention. So the gopis were overwhelmed with garva. But garva, pride, is a sanshari bhav, is an ecstatic emotion. It is not they were pride and they had garva and mada, means intoxication of joy. But they had this pride and joy not because of themselves, but because of Krishna. Because Krishna is the greatest, and we just can be with him together. But this is not for themselves, but expressed towards him. Is this understandable? Not for themselves, but because he is the best, therefore we feel proud. So this appeared in their hearts. And a little man, a little pride now manifested. But why did Krishna leave? It is called man, ahergati prema. Like man has two reasons, with cause and without cause. So actually here, when there is no cause, so this man, this pride can just dissolve by itself. But when it has a cause, Krishna has to do some endeavor. He has to bring some gift. He has to give beautiful words. He has to console. So he has many different tactics to console the gopi, so that she gives up her man, Mangbanga, that she gives up her man. But why did now Krishna leave? And leaving, upeksha, is also a way, sometimes when the gopis have pride, Krishna just leaves and this also destroys the man, and then they are again together. So why Krishna uses here upeksha? Because actually the gopis had no reason. Krishna had not done anything bad. So why then they got this pride in their heart? So it should have been disappeared by itself, but still Krishna had to do something that this pride goes away. It's a little technical, but it's a very interesting point. Actually, Garva and Mada are sanshari bhavs. And when this sanshari bhav appear with man, they give so much strength to man that man cannot disappear itself. And this man becomes stronger and stronger. But generally, what is man for? It just gives a pride, and Krishna's love increases more and more, and their love increases more. They come to the next stage of love. So the pastime becomes more sweet and more beautiful. This is the whole idea of man. It becomes more, when you say, I don't want to see you, Krishna, and then you come together, the love is much more intense. So, but if this could not happen because the sanshari bhav were assisting the man. So therefore Krishna had to break it and go away so that this man could be broken. Otherwise it could never have been broken, and this man would have become stronger and stronger, and the pastime of Raslila would not happen. Therefore Krishna had to leave. It's a very deep point of Rasa Tattva here. There is another point that Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is making. Navina Vipralambe Nasambhoga Tushtim Ashnite. That actually only when there is separation, real meeting can take place. If I just say, my Manjri, I meet you today, then she's okay. But if long time we don't see each other and then we meet, then the meeting is much more intense than the love, even in this material world. So then, in the same way, when there is different kinds of separation, then the meeting is much greater. And Krishna wanted also to show that Radharani's love is the greatest. Why? Not just to praise Radharani, but he knew, we heard before, when one has association with Nitya, with greater devotees, one can raise to higher platforms of love, the Siddha Gopis. So in the same way, Radharani knew, when everybody is aware of Radharani's greatness, love, then everybody appreciates her love, and everybody will praise her love and take association of Radharani. And in that way, of all the gopis, the love will increase, and the whole Raslila will be on a much higher platform after. That the love is much more higher. So therefore, this was the reason why Krishna was leaving. Now Mahaprabhu, therefore, Krishna has left, Radharani has left, and the gopis now looking, where is our Krishna? They suddenly realize that Krishna is not anymore with them. And as Caitanya Mahaprabhu comes to a garden at the bank of the ocean, on the shore of the ocean, I think it's Vrindavan, and he's exactly in that mood and starts to speak with the plant. Hey, have you seen Krishna? Where is my Krishna? Please tell me. He speaks to different plants, and in the same way the gopis have spoken or addressed different trees to find Krishna. Maybe we can. It's very beautiful how the pastime, the Raslila, is so secretly and beautifully followed through all these verses. So, as the gopis were desperate because Krishna has left the rasa dance, they ask, hey Ashwata tree, hey Plaksha, please tell us, has Krishna gone hereby? You are very tall, so therefore you surely see where Krishna is. But maybe you are also proud. You don't give us any answer. You don't have any fruit, so and flowers. This shows that you trees never give help to others. You're not very generous trees, so not so pious. I think therefore we should ask others. Oh Ashok, oh Nag, oh Punava, oh you have all flowers. So please tell us, has Krishna passed this way? So as the gopis see these trees with flowers, they address them. Is Krishna hiding here? But the wind was little blowing and their branches were shaking like this. And the gopis said, I think this is a sign. They say no with their hands. They don't have seen Krishna. Let us go further. And I think they also don't give us any answer because these trees are male trees. So therefore males, they cannot understand the feelings of females in their heart. So let us go further. Let us ask Tulsi. She is a female. She understands surely our heart. Oh Tulsi, you're always encircled with swarms of bees. Tell us, has Achyuta come here walking? But maybe the gopis, they said, actually you're so fortunate, Govinda is always with you, because Govinda always keeps a tulsi leaf on his lotus feet, so you're never separated. So the gopis expected the answer to say, oh, you're also very dear to Govinda, like me. But Tulsi didn't say anything. So the gopis said, Tulsi cannot understand us. She's never separated from Govinda, and therefore she cannot understand someone in separation. And Krishna loves her so much that even there are so many bees around Tulsi garland, around wherever Tulsi is, that he even accepts or ignores the disturbance of all these bees because he loves Tulsi so much. So see how great is her fragrance. But we don't have so much fragrance, so Krishna will not love us so much. But this Tulsi has also pride, because she's never separated from Krishna. Let us ask these beautiful jasmine flowers, Malika, Malati, Chati and Chuti. Maybe Krishna has touched them. See how they have beautiful flowers. This is a sign that he must have come here by. But the gopis didn't receive any answer. They said, Krishna, while picking flowers, must come by here and touched you. Otherwise, how are you so blissfully blossoming? But I think you cannot give us any answer, because you are co-wives of Tulsi. So therefore, you are to speak, and you are just afraid to speak because you are dependent on others. So let us ask these trees on the Yamuna. Maybe they can tell us where Krishna has gone, because they're always there for the welfare of others. But they are very motionless. It seems they're in meditation. Maybe they have seen Krishna, otherwise how are they so absorbed? So the gopis addressed them, but they didn't get any answer. And they told each other, the trees must be in trance and completely lost in meditation. Therefore, it's clear they don't give us any answer. And we should not criticize them, because criticizing the residents of a holy place is not so auspicious. Oh, maybe we can ask Mother Earth if she has seen Krishna. But Krishna is always with her together. So maybe instead of asking a question, we should ask her, not where is Krishna, because anyway Krishna is on her, and she also is never separated, so she will not understand our feeling like the Tulsi. But if we ask her what austerity she has done, then we can do the same austerity and we can always also reach Krishna. Maybe also, so let us ask her what austerity she has done. But maybe also she is still very favorite because Vamanadev already put the foot on her. So maybe she has so much favor. Or maybe we can ask her what austerities she did that Varahadev embraced her. She had always had the touch and the association of Krishna. But the gopis didn't get any answer. It was actually their anubhav, that they, like in Venu Gita, what they had in the heart. They were reflected, these feelings, these moods were reflected in whatever they met. Then they saw a deer, and they asked the deer, because they also felt, because the earth has also pride, never been separated from Krishna. So we see that the deers have so much bliss in their eyes. Let's follow them. It seems as if the deers are making a sign that we should follow them. So let's follow the deer. And us, they always turn back and see if we are following. So the gopis started to follow the deers through the forest. And the gopis were so happy. In this merciless Vrindavan, at least the deers are merciful. So as they followed, suddenly the deers disappeared. And the gopis understood Krishna must be nearby. Otherwise, why would the deer disappear? I think the deers are only afraid to show where Krishna is hiding. Therefore, the deers disappeared. They saw trees, but they didn't find Krishna. They saw trees bending down with a lot of flowers and fruits, making obeisances. And the gopis said, oh, I know Krishna walked by here. Otherwise, how is it that you would do obeisances? To whom would you do it? So tell me, if Krishna has walked by here, then tell me, did he acknowledge you that you have made obeisances? Surely if someone gives you respect, you respond to it. So did Krishna respond to your obeisances? But they didn't say anything. And the gopis understood in their heart. Actually, Krishna is so intoxicated in love with whom he left the rasa dance. He not even acknowledged the trees making obeisances. His left arm he rests over his beloved, and with his right arm he chased away the bees with a playful lotus. So much absorbed was Krishna in the service of his beloved that he could not recognize and not respond to the trees giving obeisances. So maybe we can ask the creepers. Also the creepers already embraced their husbands, their trees, but still they look so joyful. Maybe they have met Krishna. So they ask the creepers, but also the creepers didn't answer. But the gopis understood they are very fortunate. Even they are embraced by their even they embraced their husbands, at the same time they were touched by Krishna. In this way, the gopis were going through the forest of Vrindavan, completely absorbed in the inner mood, looking where Krishna is. And the madness and the eagerness to meet Krishna, this mood was reflected externally. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami then in this chapter describes the beauty of Krishna, because if you once have seen the beauty of Krishna, you cannot be absorbed in anything else. And he quotes from Pranay Geet verse 39. So here still is a hint of the beauty of Krishna and how he was speaking very roughly to reveal the real feelings of the gopis. The gopis say, Krishna, your face is like a trap. Actually, that we are attracted to you, someone is attracted to you, is nothing special. Because everybody is attracted to you. Maybe we can just go a little further. Everybody is attracted to you. So this is not something special. See, your curly hair are like a net. And this net has to, weight. When a fisherman has a net, he has some weight. So your kundal are this weight. And what you do, you put a bite in it. So your beautiful smile is your bite. And what you also, a good hunter is doing, he put, when you want to get the female birds, and you put one male bird in it already. So then the female very easily is attracted. So your two eyes are like two Kanchana birds. They attract the Kanchana birds of the gopis' eyes. So Krishna, it's very natural that we are attracted to you. Your face is so beautiful, decorated, and your lips. What only desire we have, we want to be surrendered to you. Then Krishna asked, if you want to be your maidservant, do I have to pay you, or you want to be freely my maidservants? The gopis said, actually Krishna, you have been purchased us since childhood with the payment of millions of times. You have paid us. With what? With the Chintamani jewel of your smiling glance. You have purchased us. And we are just rushing here in the bushes and forest. And we know also, Krishna, that you're like a palace. We know you have more treasure. A palace is so beautifully decorated, has so many beautiful pillars with emeralds or Chintamani jewel, and the floors, like your face is like a floor of Chintamani jewel, and your eyes is like Nila Nidhi and Padma Nidhi, a red and a blue, a sapphire and a ruby that is red and blue. So Krishna, you're so beautiful. So this wealth that we can find in you surpasses the opulence that we can find in Alaka, the capital of Kuvera. And then Krishna says, but what you will do in this palace? Will you just sit around and look at this astonishing wealth and beauty? No, said the gopi. We will put your beautiful turban, and we put your hair under the turban, we comb your hair, so we do everything for you, we serve you. But Krishna said, but if you do that, then your husband will be very angry and will complain to King Kamsa, and this is a problem for you and for me. Whole Braj will get in trouble. No, when Krishna, no, said the gopis, you have two very strong arms that give fearlessness. So with this arm you held up Govardhan Hill. So in that way you will also shelter us. But I'm following Dharma very strictly. Do you know who I am? Yes, said the gopis, you're the crest jewel of religious personality. But please don't refuse us. You have given Lakshmi a place on your chest, so we know you cannot refuse anyone. Please, Krishna, accept us as your maidservants. So Caitanya Mahaprabhu was quoting this verse from Pranay Gita, very nicely describing the beauty of Krishna. So in that way, Caitanya Mahaprabhu was completely absorbed in the Pranay Gita. And as they sang about the beauty of Krishna, Ramananda Roy, Sarup Damodar all came to him, and they sat down and were very fatigued, and everybody fanned Mahaprabhu. So what is coming now, when everybody sits down on the shore, desperate? Now, next chapter is the Gopi Gita is coming now, in great separation. Have you still strength? Maybe after Gopi Gita we make a break. I think it's good to open a little the window.
You don't have really a window. I can leave the door open.
There is a window up there. If you go through the window and there is a window.
Have you still strength to go through? It's very beautiful secret.
I mean, we could put a fan on there, but it makes a bit noise.
You leave it. Maybe could we put again a little music, but the fast one?
First one?
Last second.
Last second.
Yes.
That was the second one already.
Yes. No problem. Or the third? I don't
Third,
know what
okay.
the third is, but we can try. So now we come to the 16th chapter of Caitanya Charitamrita, and it's a very secret chapter and very beautiful. Actually, we are good in time. I just leave the next chapter, and then we go to we do 2 more chapters. But now we come to the 16th chapter, and this is one of my favorites. It's really, really beautiful. Here, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami starts to speak about the history of Kalidas. And the history of Kalidas has a very, very secret meaning. Kalidas was from Bengal, and he always chanted the holy name. He was very liberal and simple, and whenever he threw the dice in chess, he chanted Hare Krishna. He was always chanting whatever he was doing. But actually he was a Mahabhagavat. He was not just foolishly doing it. He was a great devotee. He was the uncle of Raghunath Das Goswami, and therefore a very great personality. And he loved to go to families where the Brahmins, neophyte or advanced devotees, and take the remnants and eat. Even he went to Shudra and took the remnants because he knew these are the devotees. So one day, Kalidas went to Chadu Thakur, a very advanced person, but he was from the Punimali caste, means the sweepers caste, those who sweep the floor in Puri. But actually in Puri is like this, that everybody is a great personality, even the sweepers. It is said even in Vrindavan, those who sweep, they are very great personalities because they are always covered with the dust of Braj. And what is in the dust of Braj? In every particle of the dust there are Radha and Krishna's footprints in it. So they are very great personality, being covered always with the footprints and decorated with Radha and Krishna. So he went there to Chadu Thakur, and he greeted them, and he took some mangoes to them. As he entered, they greeted each other, and he said, Kalidas, I am so happy, just by seeing you I feel so purified, but please place your feet upon my head. But Chadu Thakur said, how can I do it? I'm from a very low caste, so how can you expect this? And Kalidas recited many beautiful verses. How you can be a very learned scholar, knowing so many verses, but if you're not a devotee, and if you don't chant the holy name, then you're not really dear to Krishna. But if someone is very fallen and low, but chants the name of Krishna, he's very dear to him. So in that way, Kalidas spoke beautiful verses. Then he gave the mangoes and left. And Chadu Thakur went back to his house. As he went back, Kalidas came again and took all the dust of the footprints of Chadu Thakur and put it on his body. And then he waited and hid it. And Chadu Thakur took the mangoes, offered it mentally, and his wife prepared them and gave him to eat. And when you know, also when for your Gurudev, we often give mangoes and artichoke. So because they have to lick it and something is there, some remnants are there that are very tasty. So as he took the mangoes, he licked everything and then they throw it outside. As Kalidas saw it, he came very stealthily, took it and relished the whole Mahaprasad and was very, very happy. Later, when he went to Mahaprabhu, Mahaprabhu went every day in the morning to the temple to see Jagannath. So as he went, he was always, there was a step with 22 steps, and always before going up the steps, Govinda washed him the feet. And as Kalidas came, he came and took the Charanamrit of Caitanya, and 1 time, 2 times, 3 times took it. And then Mahaprabhu said, now it's enough. I already gave you enough mercy. So in that way he was relishing. And he knew Caitanya only gave him the mercy because he had this appreciation for the Vaishnavas, and he liked to take the remnants of the Vaishnavas. So Mahaprabhu, in that way, then Mahaprabhu went back from the temple to his quarters in Gambhir, in Kashi Mishra's house, and Govinda was cooking, and after Mahaprabhu ate, Mahaprabhu ordered Govinda to give Kalidas all the remnants of his prasad. So Kalidas got so much mercy. And now there is a big secret. Who is Kalidas in Krishna Lila? Has anybody an idea? Who takes the remnants?
Commentaries.
Yeah.
Radharani and then further.
Yeah, but he's a devotee, so we have to find a devotee. Nobody can become Radharani. So who is Kalidas in Krishna Lila? In Krishna Lila, there were Pulinda girls. Two Pulinda girls, Malli and Pringi, and it is said that Kalidas in Krishna Lila is Malli, one of these Pulinda girls. These are Aborigine girls, very simple. They go through the forest, collect wood and dry fruits and flowers. And whenever the gopis enjoy pastimes, they bring the flowers so they can make beautiful decoration for Krishna. They bring gunsha berries and different things, but they never go close to Krishna. So in the Venu Gita, we always come back to get Venu Gita. So in Venu Gita, in verse 17, it is described how Krishna, how the gopis say, how fortunate are these Pulinda girls. They just stroll here and there through the forest. They cannot go near to Krishna, but still they got so much ecstasy. So they must got some mercy. So whenever they go through the forest, they see on the grass some kumkum that is lying there, and they smear it everywhere on their bodies. And therefore they get so much ecstasy. But seeing this ecstasy, we understand this must be a very special kumkum, because otherwise how you get so much ecstasy? So the gopis understood that actually this kumkum comes from Radharani. So this is a very, very secret hint that also in Purvarag, in the Venu Gita, this verse is a proof that Radha and Krishna had met, and in Gopal Champu is actually the beautiful meeting, the first meeting of Radha and Krishna described. This is very intimate, we will not speak now on that. So, but what does also Kalidas wants? He wants the remnants of Mahaprabhu, and also that he put the feet on himself. So where are we in Krishna in the Rasa Panchadhyaya? We come now to the Gopi Gita, and the Gopi Gita is very beautifully described and had some secrets. Actually, in Gopi Gita there are 3 verses describing that the gopis express that they want to have the touch of the feet of Krishna in 3 places, in verse 7, verse 13 and finally verse 19. So this is abhyasa, repetition. Jiva Goswami explains different approaches of scriptures to understand and explain scripture. Abhyasa, repetition, gives a very importance of this. So verse 7 explains how beautifully is the touch of Krishna. They say, your lotus feet takes away the sins of everything. And you are so merciful, you put these lotus feet even on the hoods of Kaliya. So why can you not put it on us? Please, Krishna, give this to us. Then Krishna may say, but it's very sinful to put to your good gopis who come to such a good family to put my feet on you. This is not good. So how can I do it? And especially in Vedic tradition, when someone is Kumari, not yet married, the virgin, you never touch her with the feet. This is a very, because someone in Kumari who is a virgin is considered no different from Lakshmi. So you never touch her with the feet. This is a Vedic tradition. So Krishna says, how can I touch you? It's very sinful. But they say, no, you can do it. It's no problem, because you destroy all sins, as you have done with Kaliya. But it will give pain, says Krishna. No, we can tolerate that, because our chest is very hard. But it's inappropriate to put the feet there, because normally you put all your ornaments there. And they say, no, actually, Krishna, your feet are the best ornament. But we are afraid of your husbands. But Krishna, you put also the feet on Kaliya, so why you are afraid? So in verse 13, they say, Krishna, you go everywhere through the whole forest. So when you put everywhere your feet, why can you give not the feet to us? You have blessed Kaliya. Brahma has offended you, but by worshipping your feet, he got rid of his offense. And also, the earth is always decorated with your footprints. So please also decorate us with your footprints. And then in verse 19, says Krishna, you roam around everywhere. Your feet must be hurt. Please put it on our breasts. But we are a little afraid that it's too hard for you. So again, there is a big conversation between the gopis and Krishna. And they say, how, Krishna, can you tolerate such difficulties going through the forest? Krishna say, I do whatever I want. What is this business of yours? Why you have to think of that? And then the gopis say, no. You have to be a little merciful to us, Krishna. I think you only want to make us suffer. And pain gives you a lot of bliss. And if you feel, if our hearts maybe are too hard, then maybe we should soften a bit, but this maybe gives also not joy to you. But see, whatever your feet is touching is melting. When you walk over Govardhan Hill, Govardhan stones are just melting. So I think by your touch, you don't feel really hurt, because our heart will naturally melt. Or maybe it's even like this. But maybe it's also like this, that we have so much separation for you and we don't feel even your touch. But we will be very careful, Krishna, when you put out your feet. So please, relieve our suffering. Otherwise, our life heirs are living. So in that way, the gopis, there's a long, we cannot go too much into it, there's actually a long conversation between the gopis and Krishna. And the gopis in Gopi Gita, they mainly pray, please give us the touch of your lotus feet. But as we go further in Caitanya Charitamrita, now we are in chapter 16, it comes a short chapter where the story of Shivananda Sen is explained. Shivananda Sen had 3 sons, Caitanya Das, Ramdas and Paramananda, and how he brings Puri Das, also Paramananda, to Puri, and Mahaprabhu say, hey, chant, but he didn't chant. So then finally Swarup Damodar says, no, actually all his absorption is internally. So Mahaprabhu said, okay, recite the verse. And he speaks a very beautiful verse. Says the gopis Krishna is like a bluish flower on the ears of the gopis, like the ointment of the eyes for the gopis, the Indranila gem that decorates their chest. So therefore Krishna is always connected. Also, he was only 7 years old. He spoke this beautiful verse. So here is a hint that it seems a bit that who is Shivananda saying is Veera Devi. Vrinda Devi and Veera Devi are the servants of Purnamasi, of the great Guru in Vrindavan. And Veera Devi is mentioning here, so it's a duty. While the gopis were chanting Gopi Gita, they hope to get a message from Radha and Krishna. And maybe sometime a gopi came like Veera Dutti and gave some message to relieve their heart, otherwise they would have left their body. Then Caitanya Mahaprabhu is completely absorbed in his internally, and he praises he praises the flute of the Krishna. Actually, Mahaprabhu now goes to Jagannath temple, and the gatekeeper says, and he asks, where is Krishna? The gatekeeper says, I will bring you to him. So the gatekeeper take him just in Jagan Mohan, this hall in front of Jagannath, where he can have a beautiful darshan of Jagannath. And the pujaris bring him some very tasty Mahaprasad. And when Mahaprabhu eats this, he was just crying and falling down in ecstasy, because it is not what is Mahaprasad is actually the taste of Krishna's lips that Mahaprabhu could taste through eating Mahaprasad. So whenever you eat Mahaprasad, maybe you cannot feel it, but be aware that so much relish is in the Mahaprasad. And Chaitanya Ramananda Roy speaks verse 14 of Gopi Gita. So in Gopi Gita, so there is the gopis pray 3 times in the Gopi Gita for the touch of Krishna's feet, and 2 times in verse 8 and 14 they were asking for Krishna's lips, because they said, Krishna, see, you have given us so much medicine. You wanted to give us the touch of your feet, but it's not enough. Manimantra is a doctor. When you give medicine, an ointment on the skin, and it's not healthy, so what you have to do, it's not helping, then you have to give oral medicine. So the gopis say, hey Krishna, you already gave the ointment for this medicine, but now we need some internal medicine. So please give us your lips. So praying like this, the gopis are completely absorbed. And Krishna says something very beautiful. He said, "O churl of lovers, I see, be aware." Maybe can we do it again? Maybe yes. One. Says, "O jeweled lovers, be aware, I never ignorant to you. Your brilliant bangle is auspicious. I'm like a brilliant bangle on your hand. I'm always with you." The gopis say, "Yes, Krishna, your sweetness bewilders us so much, and we just want to drink the nectar of your lips, otherwise we will die." And Krishna says, "Then why are you still alive?" It's very naughty, Krishna. The gopis say, "Because of the amrit, of the nectar of your narration." This is actually then verse 9, goes to the verse 9. "Because of the amrit of your narration that come from your lips also. Harikatha is nectar for heaven and gives liberation. But your songs, your narration is only beautiful if they are together with the sight of you, with the darshan. Otherwise, hearing of you gives us only troubles and has very undesirable consequences." Krishna said, how is that? The gopi said, see Krishna, when we hear of you without seeing you, it gives us so much separation in the heart. It is like you sprinkle water on the oil. Rangadevi, what happens when you put water on the oil, on hot oil? No, it's like, gives an explosion. So the gopis say here, if you're in separation, we hear of you and we cannot see you, our heart is just exploding. So, what should we do? We will just die. But Krishna said, but how is it then? My topics are praised everywhere in all the scriptures. So how can you speak like that? The gopis say, only poets like Vyasadev praise you, Krishna, because it's a natural habit of a poet to praise others. And only ordinary people will listen to that. But intelligent people, they know they will suffer and they will refuse to listen, and then your narration will cease. Nobody will hear anymore your katha. Actually, these people are very evil. They go from village to village, from country to country, they hire pandits and they let speak beautiful katha. And in that way, they sit in the assembly and hear the katha as if they were very innocent, but actually they do genocide. They kill so many by speaking this Hari Katha. So if you are actually learned, you know about the disturbance and the consequences, and therefore you take a distance of all these narrations like a contagious disease. So in that way the gopis were very beautifully speaking. It is said in Bhagavatam, our Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur is saying very beautiful that Krishna Lila is a mixture, a poisonous mixture of sugarcane and a datura plant. Datura is what is generally given to Shiva. And when you powder them and mix them, it becomes a drink that is very poisonous. And those who speak katha are like murderers in a dress of a saint. They are just disguised. And under their arm they tuck the Puranas, which is like a net to catch everyone. And in that way they speak Harikatha. And if you one time have just tasted a drop of Harikatha, then what is happening? Just a single drop, all your material life is ruined. You cannot go back to where you are or where you have been. Then you travel to Vrindavan and you become like birds wandering here and there and begging a little food. So your household life is destroyed. So this is the power of katha. So the gopis here speak to Krishna or praise the greatness of the katha in verse 8. And in verse 14, as it is described here, Caitanya Mahaprabhu reciting this verse, the gopis praise the flute and say, this flute makes us forget all attachment. It's like Dhanvantari, this is the god of medicine, who gives the medicine, and you can become free of all attachments. And they praise the flute. And they say, how is it? This flute is just a hollow bamboo stick, and so much nectar goes in that flute. But this flute is actually, in one sense, also unfortunate, because it's empty, and Krishna always tries to fill it with a blow, but still it remains empty. So it's very unfortunate. So there are many things they're speaking about the flute, and how the flute is full of hollows and faults. So, and not giving any Adaramrit, any nectar of the lips of Krishna. They're very selfish because this flute takes all the nectar for herself, is not sharing anything. And see, if the flute is just a newcomer in Braj, since Krishna goes out with the cows, he takes the flute. Before, he never was the flute. And we are gopis, we are cowherd girls. So actually, Krishna belongs to us. So this nectar is for us. How is it that this newcomer take all the nectar from the flute? So in that way, they speak a lot of different pastimes on the flute. Yeah. And they quote also verse 9 in Gopi Gita about the flute. It's also, again, not Gopi Gita, excuse me, Venu Gita. Always goes back to Venu Gita, where also there the gopis say actually the flute, the forefathers, the bamboo tree shed so much tears seeing the flute, because when someone in the family gets a good position, like a doctor or whatever, the whole family is happy. So the bamboo tree seeing the flute getting such a good position on Krishna's lip, it just shed tears. And the mothers, the rivers, they are so much in jubilation, and all the lotus flowers stand erect in their waters. So in that way they are praising and speaking. We could go a little more into it, but this is then we learn otherwise again in Venu Gita too much. So in that way, Caitanya Mahaprabhu was completely absorbed in the lips of Krishna, in the touch of Krishna, and hinting with these verses that he's quoting, that this chapter is non-different, or explaining in a very hidden way the Gopi Gita. In the next chapter, I think we get a bit late. We only have 1 more hour left, and I don't want to keep you here because the seminar is getting a little long. So the next chapter we want to skip. But I can
tell the essence.
Essence? Or you have all to go exactly 7 o'clock, or how is it for? I mean, if you have time, I'm very happy to.
At 9
No,
o'clock,
I
the
think
brahmacharis go to sleep.
To
I
sleep.
think whomever
At
wants to
9
go,
o'clock.
they can go.
So in the 17th, then we come to the 17th chapter. Krishna and Caitanya Mahaprabhu or maybe we make a short break, no? We make 5 or 10 minutes break, then we are all fresh, and then we can come together and have the last parts, chapters 17, 18 and 19. So chapter 19 is the end of the Ras Leela. And then what is happening after the Ras Leela, we see it in Caitanya pastimes. It's very beautiful. But I don't tell it now, otherwise you will not join again. So just 5 or 10, like we say 5-minute break, and then we have a little, maybe we can open little this door, so we get fresh air. Please drink something, and then we will meet again.
Because I have one.
It's so nice that you came, Bhagavati. Last time I was here, it was a seminar of Reva. Always someone from...
Your daughter is living here, no?
Yeah, she's living here. She just got a baby just few days. We are waiting
Please
on
greet her.
She's big right now. She wanted to come, but she's not too much.
Oh, a second. Oh, nice. Wonderful. I'm just coming. 1 minute.
So you are going back to Germany, she told me, or?
Yeah,
Yeah, where? see from Yasakuja, and I don't know when I will see him. Maybe on the retreat. Because always somehow we wanted to go to the Shiva Kshetra and then we organized it there. Because everyone else goes. Then
You're in Kolkata now?
no.
You can go from Kolkata from Croatia.
Now I'm here, then we go to the and don't know what to say. So I don't know whether we are supposed to go to be there for Jonas, but they're not sure. Then again, clever. I cannot go now to Croatia to these camps when they say that.
But you come to Kolkata?
I hope so. I hope so. It's just to finish. So I need something. Bhagavati, are you going to Radhakund for Kartik?
She's going soon. Are you coming too?
I would like to, if you give me your blessings, maybe. Maybe all me.
She's going soon, so she can go there. I can serve on the rooms. That room, she can go to Radharani, you know.
Yeah, you speak to Radharani. Maybe you can tell this lady in my ashram that I will come.
Yeah, sure.
You can tell this lady to keep the room for me, huh?
Yeah.
You
But
sure?
you write me a mail also. Yes, in maybe beginning of or end of
When are you going?
20th of August.
October.
August.
August.
Yeah.
In October it's already cut.
Yeah.
Now it's what is now? Now it's. Okay, I will write you.
This would be so nice. Yeah. Just one moment. I just coming. I just want to see actually which question
Just
we
look, I'm
didn't.
going to take some because I'm so sleepy. I just came from lunch and
Oh. Just we can continue. I just want to see what we have forgotten. There is one function. Yeah, just a minute, 1 minute. I just have to go to bathroom. Just in 1 minute we will continue.
Okay.
Mahaprabhu still have strength.
Fine.
It's a little less, it's very beautiful. Sometimes one has to take with you. Not always when one secretly do something, it looks strength to go through. But one, as we feel, one gets a lot when one secretly goes through something. Otherwise it will get lecture. It's sometimes difficult to put things together. But it wasn't like this.
I'm going.
You have to go.
Oh, I don't have to, but I'm really tired.
Okay.
I didn't sleep so much.
Okay, thank
Because
you
of
so
you.
much for coming.
Yesterday I was so good and she was so good. And that Mahaprabhu wasn't speaking jealous. But it was very nice.
If you have time, come tomorrow.
Oh, I can't, I have parents.
Thank you so much for coming.
It's very nice.
Renting contract, but we are looking actively for a new place. Let's see how it's going in this planning weekend.
So is there something?
Until now, I mean, actually, just yesterday we saw one place which we kind of like, but we have seen so many, like almost every second day we go to see some places. But until now there was nothing which we really liked, you know. Either it was in the very bad, you know, completely in the middle of nowhere, or it was too small, or it was, you know, always something wrong, or too expensive. Yesterday we found one which we really like. It's close by, just around the corner here. It's kind of nice place, you know, big enough. But then the problem, and the rent is good, like little more than here, but not much more. But then there is someone else also who wants to get it, so it's not sure if we will get it.
Yeah, but you said that you know.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it yesterday, so let's see. Let's see what they're doing.
Huh?
Let's
Yeah,
see
I
what
think
Komitai
all
is
day
doing.
they're just sleeping.
Yeah.
Can we not open it?
I think we can, we just open up.
Yes.
Yeah, it's-
Komitai also want to hear
Yeah,
Caitanya.
No, then it will be
that's
much
been done
better.
sometimes.
We are speaking actually the Lila.
All day.
They are listening. Secret.
Oh, we are still going streaming.
already the night dress? Yeah?
Yeah, see no jewelry, no, no turbans.
These beautiful roses.
Now we want to hear something intimate.
Yes, let's start. Okay, I wanted to skip something, but you didn't want. So it's very beautiful. Good. So we come to chapter 17. Just a moment. We come to chapter 17 of Caitanya Charitamrita Antya Lila. And so the mood, we said, always increases more and more. So Caitanya Mahaprabhu was completely in ecstasy, being in his room, completely absorbed. And Govinda, his servant, always listened outside the door. And when he heard the chanting, he knew, okay, Mahaprabhu is there. He's just absorbed. But one time, he was listening and he didn't hear Mahaprabhu's chanting anymore. And he gets so much in anxiety. What has happened? Mahaprabhu, maybe we can put again a little bit music. Mahaprabhu was inside the room, and as he was chanting the holy name, he suddenly heard Krishna's flute. And as Mahaprabhu heard Krishna's flute, he was completely in ecstasy. And what happened when you hear Krishna's flute? We heard of the 6 cities of the flute. One is, it completely controls you and attracts you. So Mahaprabhu was just running outside. And also there were 3 doors that were really closed. You know, because what are these 3 doors? It's not that his room had 3 doors, that the gambir is built like this. That is, you enter, there is a courtyard, then you enter, there is the inner courtyard, and then is Mahaprabhu's room. So when Mahaprabhu left, actually, he had the door of his own room to break, then the first courtyard and then the second. So he had to go through these 3 doors till he could leave the house. And he went to the Simhadwar gate. Simhadwar gate is many times mentioned. It's actually the main entrance door in Puri, on the that goes towards the Grand Street to Gundicha. So there on the Simhadwar gate, he fell unconscious between the cows, the Dailanga cows, the small cows that you see. And he was completely absorbed. So Govinda, not hearing Mahaprabhu, went to Swarup Damodar and informed him. And they both took a torch. That time it was with light, with fire. And they went out to search Mahaprabhu. Imagine these scenes. This happened so many times that Mahaprabhu was so much absorbed and left, and the devotees had to search him. Imagine this anxiety. When you are responsible for your Gurudev, for example, all the time he leaves, and we find him somewhere in ecstasy. Because it's dangerous, he could be hurt, he could leave the body, anything could happen. But when they searched and came to the Simhadwar gate, they found Mahaprabhu completely in ecstasy, and his bodily limbs entered his body, in the trunk of his body, and he looked like a tortoise or like a pumpkin. In that way, they were completely astonished. And by various means they tried to bring him back to consciousness, but it was not possible. And because they could not bring him back, they lifted him and brought him back like that. Then they chanted the holy names in his ears, and slowly he came to external consciousness and all his limbs again came out of his body. And he asked, "Where have you brought me?" After I heard the vibration of the flute, I went to Vrindavan and I saw Krishna, the son of Nanda Maharaj, playing on his flute on the pasturing grounds. He brought Srimati Radharani to a bower and signaling her with the flute to come, and they both entered there and enjoyed. I entered the bower just behind Krishna, my ears captivated by the sound of his ornaments. Runu chunu, runu chunu, runu chunu. It's the sound of his ankle bells, runu chunu. So I was going behind Krishna and I saw Krishna and the gopis enjoying all kinds of pastimes, laughing and choking. Hearing all this voice, I was in ecstasy. Just then, you made such a sound and brought me to external consciousness. You have broke my meditation. Where are the gopis? Where are Krishna? Where is Krishna? And completely absorbed, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu now recites another verse of Pranay Gita. It's very interesting. He goes back and back in these different Gitas. The Gitas in Bhagavatam are very important, and Pranay Gita's 11 verses have very, very deep meaning. So now he goes to verse verse 40 in Pranay Gita. And what is verse 40 about? It's about the flute of Krishna. Dear Krishna, what woman of the three worlds cannot be bewildered by your flute and be drowned out by the melody of your flute? Your beauty makes everything auspicious. Even cows, birds, trees, deers, everything, everybody gets so ecstatic and the hairs on the body stand on end. So in that way, the flute is again prison. The flute is very special, and Krishna loves the flute very much. He takes the flute, he massages the flute with his fingers so lovingly. He takes it in his hand, and whenever Krishna sleeps, he never put the flute away. He always keeps the flute nearby. He tucks the flute in his waist and sometimes kisses even the flute. So see how this flute is so beloved to Krishna. What tapasya has this flute done that it can be at the lips of Krishna? So the flute actually went through a lot of tapasya, had been cut from the bamboo tree, had been lied a long time in the sun and pierced by the rods. So much tapasya the flute has done that Krishna loves the flute and kisses the flute and massages the flute. So in that way, Mahaprabhu now again praises the flute and speaks of the different sounds. Every chapter, because Ras Leela is what involves, we said that Ras Leela is that what, like how you relish all the rasas. This is Ras Leela, all the relationship. But it also means that all your senses are completely involved in Krishna. You are not aware of anything else. And every aspect, every quality of Krishna, all the senses want to go. And Mahaprabhu say, my mind is like, see, my senses are like horses, and my mind is like completely distracted because it wants. Normally you need to control a horse, but my horses are completely. My horse of the mind is completely pulled in different direction by the senses. When I see the beauty, I only want to all the senses want to rush there. When I hear of Krishna, then everything wants to be just absorbed in Krishna. When I hear the words, Krishna's voice is very low, like thunder, so very low voice. So when I hear the voice, Mahaprabhu says, all my senses want to go there. And when he speaks with the gopis and talks and jokes, it's just completely absorbing. And especially when he walks, the ankle bells make such a beautiful noise. And it is as if my whole ears are completely plundered. Everything is just absorbed in that. And the bangles, so every aspect now Mahaprabhu that makes a sound of Krishna is praising. Mahaprabhu says, now, what can I do? I'm completely lost. My senses all want to run to hear Krishna. Now we go back to Raslila. Where are we? We have heard the Gopi Gita. Now the gopis come back and they find Radharani. Krishna has decorated her, have been with her, and he has asked her, where do you want to go further? And Radharani says, wherever you want to go. You can bring me wherever. Krishna says, sit on my shoulder, I bring you wherever you want. So she says, wherever you want, you can bring me. So this breaks the whole mood, because generally, as I said, as we discussed before, it's a mood when the lover and the beloved have the same mood. The relationship is not relishable. But if someone is in Dakshin Bhav, then the other has to be contrary. They always need different emotions, and only then the love play is very relishable. So now Radharani came in the same mood as Krishna, and this was kind of a break of the Ras. So therefore, Krishna left her, leaving her alone after decorating her, and to keep again, to make it more relishable, the whole Lila. So the gopis have searched everywhere, and they came to the Yamuna and they see, oh see, here are footprints of Krishna. And there's some other footprints there also. Oh, this is a very fortunate gopis. Now the Swapaksha gopis, those who are in Radharani's group, they immediately recognize these are Radharani's footprints, but the others couldn't. So those, now they speak different verses, and according their moods they speak. Those who are in Radharani's group, they say, see how fortunate this gopi is to be, we have here the wrong chapter, to be with Krishna. So fortunate she is. And the other gopis, they become a little jealous. They say, they tell now different. They speak differently to Radharani, like seeing the footprints, and say, how is it that this gopi can just go alone and she forgets all of us? So they take different answers, and Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he recognizes in which mood everybody is. Now I found it. Speaking in which mood everybody is, and therefore he recognizes who is speaking. So those who in the rival group, then they say, oh, now we cannot see the footprints anymore. And then another Saki, no, here there's only one pair of footprints because Krishna carried the lover on the arms. And see here again, there are two footprints, and one footprint, you see only the tip, the front part. So it's like this, Krishna must have picked flowers here and then decorated her beloved. So just see how fortunate she is. So in that way they were speaking, and when they came closer they saw Radharani there. And actually Radharani, when Krishna said, just climb on my shoulder, and she said, you can carry me wherever you want, breaking the mood. Why Radharani said this? Actually, Radharani felt that Krishna is so tired. He is dancing so much and roaming through the forest. It is good if he takes a little rest, because otherwise he will be too tired. So for this reason, Radharani spoke, she didn't went in an opposite mood. But Krishna, under the power of the Lila Shakti, covered Krishna's awareness that he could not be aware of Radharani's feeling in the heart, and therefore Krishna left her. There are many other reasons why Krishna left her. As we said before, that union and separation both is necessary. And also it's like this, when Krishna would have only enjoyed with Radharani, then all the other gopis would be very sad. But Krishna wanted to include the others also, and he didn't want, if the gopis would come, if he would be there with Radharani, then everybody would be very envious of Radharani. So he left her, that they found her, and then they don't have bad feelings towards her. So there's many different reasons. But as Krishna now came back, we had the Gopi Gita, we heard the Gopi Gita, they were searching there together. It is like this, when they have separation, generally there are different groups of gopis. Some favorable, some opposite, there are many different moods. But it is like this in separation, when everybody is in separate, they just become one, like one group. They don't see the difference of each other, but they become very close, and together they will go and sing the Gopi Gita and search Krishna everywhere. They don't feel this difference. Krishna was very happy, and he appeared in front of the gopis. He was actually never away, he was just hiding nearby, and he wanted to hear the beautiful songs of the gopis. And then he came, and he was more beautiful. Sakshanman Manamanmata, he was 1,000 times more beautiful than before. It is not only that Krishna is always beautiful, but after separation, the meeting is much more great, and you feel your lover is 1,000 times more beautiful. So in that way, the gopis could experience the great meeting with Krishna. And also Krishna was still wearing the garland that Radharani has made. So there's a lot of, and he came, he did Kritanjali. Sometimes, you know, they take a straw in his mouth. So Krishna was a little afraid, maybe they will not accept me anymore. I have done a little wrong. So he took his pitambar, his chadar, and took it in his hand. He was folding his hand and begging for mercy. Then they started to enjoy a beautiful rasa dance, and Krishna related with each gopi in a different way according her mood. So, and according how they reacted towards Krishna, also the acharyas find out who is who, which gopi is now relating to Krishna. If he's like Chandravali, for example, or we say a gopi maybe embrace Krishna or a gopi rejects Krishna, so there are different answers. Maybe go not now in that. But still Krishna feels also, he likes to enjoy the rasa dance. He still feels there is a little apprehension there. He cannot fully enjoy this dance. So what is the reason? And the gopis ask Krishna, hey Krishna, what kind of lover are you? I just have to find it, just one moment. They ask him, what kind of lover are you? Sorry. here. What kind of lover are you, Krishna? Are you one that when we give you affection, you give also affection back? Means you have love, but or do you, when someone doesn't give you love, you still give love? No, means when someone is not giving love, you also say, I don't give love. This is very conditional nature. Are you someone who is like this? Or are you very unconditional that whoever loves you or not love you, you still give love? What kind of lover of Krishna are you? So Krishna then gives different answers and explains, actually, oh dear gopis, I'm none of them. I'm not in any of these categories of lover. Why have I left you? There is only one reason. I went away to intensify your devotion. It's like a poor man when he has a wealth and he loses again the wealth. Then you get so much in anxiety over losing your wealth. So in the same way, O gopis, I only wanted to increase and intensify your love. Therefore, I went away. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is also commenting on that like someone who has already love, and if Krishna goes away, the attachment is increasing. But if you not yet have this love in your heart, and you don't have Krishna yet, then it purifies your heart. Krishna said, my dear gopis, I wanted to increase the attachment of you, but no, I was always with you. Actually, I'm completely indebted to you. What can I do for a lifetime of Brahma? I'm indebted to you. You have left your family and everything and run to me. But see, I'm not like this. I never give up my cows. I'm always follow my cows. I don't give up my brothers and my family. So I cannot reciprocate. Also, I have promised this to reciprocate with each one. But I'm not doing that. So the only thing is the comprehension. The compensation is your pious deed. Means, like only if you forgive me, this is the only thing that can balance everything, your forgiveness. But Krishna knew, he actually always keeps his promise. And he knew he could not fulfill this promise here as Krishna. So therefore he had to know, I have to give up also everything. So I will come again, and then I will give up everything as Mahaprabhu, and I will cry. The gopis have cried so much, so I will cry now as well. So in that way, the gopis were speaking, and Mahaprabhu was completely in this internal mood. Now we come to chapter 18. So, living in Puri, Caitanya Mahaprabhu was floating in separation. This was the last 12 years, and when the devotees from Bengal came, Mahaprabhu went every evening with them to Jagannath temple. They had big Sankirtan. But when they left after 4 months, after this Chaturmasya, when they were with him for Ratha Yatra and all the festivals, then Mahaprabhu went very internally again and relished all the mood of separation in the Gambhir. And what he was relishing, he was speaking all the verses of Ras Lila and even imitated Ras Lila. He rolled on the ground, was completely in madness. These were the 12 years of his pastimes. And Caitanya Mahaprabhu now recites another verse. He recites, now this is, how does the Ras Lila end? It is always like this. When you enjoy, in Vedic tradition, when you enjoy with a lover, afterwards you take bath. So after having all this pastime and being very intimately together, Krishna and the gopis went to the Yamuna and they jumped into the Yamuna and just had a lot of water pastimes. They splashed each other, they were hiding in lotus flower. It was as if the king of elephants was enjoying with his female associates. So Mahaprabhu is now reciting these verses. And there's a beautiful pastime too. We are in 18, chapter 18, yeah. So Mahaprabhu mistook, Mahaprabhu mistook, was wandering and went to the Aitota temple. Towards the sea he went. And as he saw the beautiful shore, was wandering on the shore and saw the sea, it was glittering in the moonlight. What he was remembering? Yamuna. So he was just remembering Yamuna and mistaking the sea for Yamuna. He lost consciousness and he jumped into the sea. Like he jumped into the sea and lost consciousness. Sometimes he sank down in the waves, sometimes he was floating. It was like a dry piece of wood floating towards Konark temple. It is very interesting why he's floating towards Konark temple. Actually, Srimati Radharani, on the pretext of picking flowers for the sun god, she always can go out in the forest, and her mind is always floating towards the sun god to pick flowers. In that way, Mahaprabhu was just floating towards Konark temple, wanted to meet with Krishna. The devotees, they found that Mahaprabhu was missing. Again, they were in great anxiety. They ran here and there. Was he maybe in the temple or in a garden? Or had he felt somewhere? Maybe in Chatak Parva? Or had he gone to Konark? They were asking themselves. Mahaprabhu has disappeared. They searched everywhere. So they came and then they made different groups, and every group went to search in different places. The group of Swarup Damodar went to the seashore, and as they came to the seashore, they saw a fisherman. This fisherman was crying, laughing, dancing, Hari, 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 in the ecstasy. Seeing this, everyone was a little astonished, and they said, "My dear fisherman, how is it that you are behaving like that? Please tell us what has happened." The fisherman has said, "I have not seen a single person here, but as I went out with the fisher boat, and as I threw the nets, as every day, as I took the net inside, I captured a dead body. It was very pale and was very big and long. And as I saw this, fear arose in me. And as I touched this body, then it was as if a ghost entering me. I just started to chant and chant the holy name, and I shivered in fear." And normally, when I'm so afraid, I chant the Nishingadev mantra, and it always gives me protection. But this ghost, when I chant the Nishingadev mantra, becomes very ecstatic. And also in my heart, the moods increase more and more. And this ghost has open eyes and always looks at me. His joints are very long and separated. He only says, "Gong, gong, gong, gong." And he remains unconscious. It is as if hunting me. What should I do? I need an exorcist. So to help me and to take out this ghost. Swarup Damodar, he is very intelligent. He understood what ghost this was. And he said, "Oh my dear fisherman, I'm actually an exorcist, so please come. And he put his hand on the fisherman and slapped him a little. So it's very interesting that sometimes when someone becomes too ecstatic and goes a little out of body, or also out of fear or something, it's good to slap someone to bring him out, back in bodily consciousness. So therefore he slapped him and he pacified him. But it's a very interesting question. I was thinking, why is it that this fisherman, he had ecstasy, but it was not really prema bhakti. He didn't have the mood of Braj. So I was thinking, Mahaprabhu gave prema bhakti to everyone. Why did this fisherman didn't get prema bhakti and was absorbed in the moods of Braj? But it's very interesting when some person answered me that actually because he had fear. There was a lot of fear inside him. So when you have fear, it's not a really full surrender to the Lord. You cannot really, when you have fear, you cannot receive. And fear is also in Aishwarya Bhav, there is fear and there is respect. All these feelings hinder one to enter really Braj Bhakti. So this fisherman had this hindrance. But then they said, where do you have now this ghost? Please bring it to us. So he took him back, and actually as he came, as he pacified, Swarup Damodar told him, hey, actually this was not a ghost, this was the Lord. He said, but I have seen the Lord so many times in Puri, but this ghost, this man is different, he's so long, and all the joints are elongated. They said, this is a sign of his ecstasy, but this is Mahaprabhu. So the fisherman brought the devotees to Mahaprabhu, and he was in ecstasy, pale, shivering, and he was completely covered with sand. So they took the sand, cleaned him from the sand on the body, gave him fresh dry garments, and brought him to external consciousness. But Mahaprabhu said, how is it that you all are here? What has happened? Actually, Mahaprabhu was like this. When he was internally in internal consciousness, he was externally unconscious and was just internally relishing the lila. And was in outer consciousness, in external consciousness, he was relating to the devotee. But there was half internal, half external consciousness, and in that times he revealed his inner revelation, where he was absorbed in. And he said, why you brought me here? I went to Vrindavan. There I saw Nanda Maharaj performing the pastimes in the water of Yamuna. In the company of the devotees, they were splashing each other. They had very fine white garments, and they entered Yamuna. All resembled like lotus. They sprinkled each other, splashed each other. Sometimes Krishna dived and took a gopi down, Radharani down. Sometimes the gopis wanted to hide, and their faces are like golden lotus. And they went to where there were clusters of golden lotuses, and the gopis hid their face, and Krishna could not find them. And sometimes Krishna hid in groups of blue lotuses, and the gopis could not find Krishna. And in that way they had very beautiful water pastimes that were very intimate. And Mahaprabhu was relishing it. It was very, Yamuna's water is very crystal clear, and Krishna could see all the very private parts of the gopis, but they always tried to hide between the lotus leaves and different means. It was a very joyful and beautiful fight they had. And after they came to the shore, they dried. They were dried, they had an oil massage, and they went for a forest picnic. Some other gopis led Radha and Krishna and the gopis to a jeweled pavilion in the forest, and they had a beautiful picnic. Radharani had made very fine sweetmeats very nice sweets, and she brought them and offered it to Krishna. And then they fell asleep. And now Mahaprabhu said, why you brought me here? You made such a tumultuous sound. Why have you broken my dream? Why have you brought me here? In that way, Mahaprabhu was completely absorbed and glorifying the touch of Krishna. Here in this chapter, the touch of Krishna is glorified. How he touches all the gopis, and also how this fisherman was touched by Mahaprabhu and completely get into ecstasy. Now we come to the last chapter. What is left? Someone maybe remember? Now it's very interesting starting this chapter. It's amazing how Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami leads us through these chapters. In Navadvip was his mother, and Mahaprabhu always sent someone to console his mother. And he said, who was so much in separation. So he said, Chaganananda, please go to Nadia and offer my obeisances to my mother. Bring her some prasad and some prasad from Jagannath. So please, and give her a message. Tell her, my dear mother, whenever you offer anything, I'm coming to you. And sometimes you feel something has happened. Maybe an animal, a mouse has eaten your offering. But actually it's always me who is coming and eating. I'm completely dependent on you. I'm staying here in Nilachal, Jagannath Puri, according your order. But as long I live, I shall not leave this place. And I always come to Navadvip to eat. So Mahaprabhu, Mukunda, maybe go a little or start again this second. So Mahaprabhu packed a little prasad of Jagannath and make a beautiful package and a clothing and send it through Jagadananda to Navadvip. Jagadananda was for 1 month in Navadvip, enjoying with the devotees and consoling them, because the only thing that could console their heart was the news of Mahaprabhu about what he was doing, and the whole time they were speaking. And Jagadananda brought the message. But then, before leaving, Advaita said, Jagadananda, I also have a message of Mahaprabhu. Tell him that he's acting like a madman and everyone has become mad like him. Inform him that in the marketplace rice is not anymore in demand. Everybody has enough tasted. So in that way, it was a very riddle, in the form of a riddle. And Jagadananda not really understood what Advaita said, but came back to Puri and delivered the message of Advaita Acharya. And Caitanya Mahaprabhu quietly smiled. That is his order. And then he felt silent. Swarup Damodar could understand the message, and he was desolate. Mahaprabhu said, Advaita Acharya had invited me to come and had me worship me. Now, the worship, he keeps the time of the worship. And when the worship is completed, he sends the deity somewhere else. I do not know the meaning of this sonnet, of this song, nor do I know what is in Advaita's mind, said Mahaprabhu. But from that day on that he received this message, his emotional state completely changed. His feelings of separation now again doubled in intensity. Now, imagine now, we were speaking since yesterday about the intensity of Mahaprabhu's emotion increasing. Now it just was on the peak of all his madness and intoxication of love. And he was in the mood of Krishna departing to Mathura. Caitanya Mahaprabhu often recited Brahma Gita and the Mahishi Gita, so where Krishna has left to Mathura, and in separation the gopis and the queens of Mathura, or the people of Mathura, the women of Mathura, speak these very intimate songs. So he was completely absorbed in that, and only in the rasa dance, always looking for Krishna. He was in a very deep mood of Radharani, where Radharani was saying was in this mood of separation when Krishna left to Mathura. And Radharani is saying, Providence has cheated me. She has taken Krishna away. But actually it's not the Providence that is at fault, because this is just the destiny. But it's actually my fault. It's my bad karma, or my bad destiny that took Krishna away. So Mahaprabhu speaks here beautiful verses that Radharani speaks when Krishna left to Mathura. So Krishna going to Mathura means this is end of the Braj Lila. And Advaita's message to Mahaprabhu means the end of Chaitanya's Leelas. So here in a very secret way, it is hinted now that Ras Lila will also end. So we come to the ending of Ras Lila, and Mahaprabhu goes to a beautiful garden, in Jagannath Vallabha garden. And he quotes the verse where after the gopis had enjoyed in the water, then afterwards they go outside and they wander through the forests of Vrindavan, and they enjoy one Bihar, all the pastimes in the forest that also belong to Ras Lila. So Ras Lila is ending there. So Mahaprabhu one day in the month of Vaishak, this is April, May, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to the Jagannath Vallabha garden. Jagannath Vallabha garden is considered non-different from Vrindavan. There is also where Prataparudra met Mahaprabhu. There's many things happened there in the garden. And it was fully beautiful. Shukanshari were singing. There were bumblebees, big bumblebees like in Vrindavan, a mild breeze blowing. And there were beautiful flowers, and 6 seasons were manifest. And as they went there, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sang Lalita Lavangalata, this beautiful song. This is a song of the Gita Govinda explaining spring rasa dance. As he went, suddenly beneath a tree, Mahaprabhu saw Krishna. Krishna smiled and swiftly disappeared again. Mahaprabhu was out of himself. Krishna has left, but something was behind. What was this? Smell. The smell, the fragrance of Krishna. This is also a problem of Krishna sometimes. When he meets with the gopis secretly and Chatila comes, Krishna can disappear, but his smell stays for some time. So Krishna's scent was still there, and Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, smelled this fragrance and just felt unconscious at once. The scent of Krishna is very special. It is like you take blue lotus, you mix it with musk, camphor, sandalwood and aguru. When you mix these substances together, you have the smell of Krishna. So But Krishna smells so beautifully. And it plunders everything when you hear this. It is as if Krishna, Madan Mohan, has opened a shop with scents. And all the customers, all the women, they take this perfume. But they are, for free he's giving. But now they are completely blind and in love. And they cannot find the path returning home. Caitanya Mahaprabhu, reciting this verse, speaks of the beautiful fragrance of Krishna and how this fragrance is completely intoxicating. Now we have gone through all the 5 senses in these chapters, and as we said, Ras Lila is there where all senses are completely absorbed and relishing Krishna. But not only that, also Krishna relishes all the relationships with the devotees. So after walking around in the forest after Van Vihar, actually Ras Lila is ending. Shukadev Goswami speaks the Ras Lila, and then Parikshit breaks the mood of Shukadev. I had this also once. I was in a katha, and it was very deep katha, and then someone put up his hand and asked a question, and it was so out of the frame. The speaker said, "Sorry, I cannot speak any more further. You have broken my mood." So it was very interesting to experience that. And the same thing is happening here. Shukadev Goswami, in the mood of the gopis, speaks so deeply, but now Parikshit looks around. He's completely absorbed, but he sees there are some jnanis, some yogis, and they have a little doubt. Is Krishna really pure? Are the gopis pure in their heart? For what purpose is Krishna doing all these pastimes? So, seeing their doubts, Parikshit asked these questions to Shukadev Goswami. That Shukadev Goswami explains the purity of the Lila. But then everything is broken. The Lila, he cannot speak any more further. There's so much to speak about Ras Lila. All now the pastimes of Van Bihar. But Shukadev Goswami, he cannot speak anymore. And then he goes to the next chapter and he speaks of Nanda Maharaj being saved from a snake. Completely changes the mood. But there is a deep meaning, because the doubt is actually the greatest snake. And Shukadev said to Parikshit, "Hey Parikshit, you are swallowed by the snake of doubt. Even before Takshaka could catch you and bite you, now he was cursed. So even before that, you have been swallowed and catched by the snake of doubt. So let us be free of this snake." So therefore, Shukadev speaks as the next Lila, the Ambikavan Lila, where he speaks about a python, a snake of doubt. And this python is a Vidyadhara. It means a heavenly being. What Vidyadhara means, one who holds knowledge. And his name is Sudarshan, beautiful Darshan. So the meaning is, if you get the mercy of the Brijvasis, your knowledge will be destroyed, and like Krishna comes to you and you will have the beautiful darshan of him. This is real knowledge. So having the darshan of Krishna when the doubt is destroyed, this is hinted here. And he goes then further, till he then comes again to Yugal Git and then again to the Dwaraka Lila. So it's very different moods that come up after this question, but the whole mood of Ras Lila is broken actually by the question of Parikshit. But it is very important because it has to be said that for all of us, that Ras Lila is something very high and very pure. And those, it is said in the last chapter, in the last verse, Vikritam Vraja Vadubiridam Cha Vishnu, etc., that one who faithfully hears or describes the Lord's playful pastime with the young gopis of Vrindavan will attain pure devotional service. He will quickly become sober and conquer lust, the disease of the heart. So many people have fear to go into Ras Lila, and this is also right, because it's a danger that we put our own material concepts and imagination on aprakrit ras, on the eternal moods, of the divine moods of the couple Radha and Krishna. But following the acharyas and following their footsteps, how they guide us through Ras Lila, actually it conquers the lust. It takes away all our bad habits, and thus it is described before in Srimad Bhagavatam. Hearing Ras Lila gives great dedication to Krishna. So I'm so happy that today you were so long sitting here for, I don't know, 5-6 hours, and we wait. I'm aware we could only touch a bit these chapters, but while touching these chapters, I feel you got an insight and appreciation. The most important thing is to understand how deep these moods are, and that there is always more and more to find out, to hear about, to realize in one's heart. So devotional life is never boring. It's always an exciting adventure, because it's so much to deepen and so much to discover and to realize. And when we touch a bit the scripture and the Acharya's commentaries, now we mainly wrote the commentaries of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, but I'm just waiting till the commentaries of Sanatan, Shiva Goswami, all those Goswamis, they're also presented in English, so that all of us can relish all these different perspective and vision on our most beloved Leelas, and especially the Rasa Leela, where Srila Prabhupada says it's the highest living condition. So it's a great goal to be achieved and to be relished. So thank you so much. I'm happy.
Thank you.
I don't know if there is any question left or yes.
I'm just wondering, like usually we hear that the gopis, they are not aware that Krishna is God, but actually it comes out from those chapters that they are aware, but they don't care.
It's a very nice question, thank you. So is Krishna really aware? In some parts they even say, hey Krishna, you're super soul, or especially also in the Pranay Gita they mention this. But actually the gopis, for them, their relationship is very fixed. And only in the mood of separation, this Aishwarya is coming out, these feelings of opulence, of Krishna is God. This is only coming in the times of separation. In the Pranay Gita is a little special situation, how Krishna creates a bit separation also that this is coming out. So these different moods. So sometimes Krishna creates a situation, but generally it's only coming in the mood. But even when the gopis say, hey, you're Paramatma, hey, you're God, they don't believe it. They have just heard it from Purnamasi or from Gargacharya, but they don't believe that Krishna is God. So it's not really. They say, hey Krishna, why you think you're God? Only because you have some signs on your hand? See also our hands, we also have some signs. Why do you think you're God? So they joke with him in that way. And also Mother Yashoda has her relationship with Krishna. And even Krishna opens the mouth and shows all the universes. So there are different situations where he shows opulence. But then Yashoda, at the end, she feels, what has happened? I'm a little dizzy or a little disturbed. I just saw something. Hey Lala, come here. My boy, come here. Take my breast milk. And we will protect you. So it's like they never go into the feeling of Krishna being God. It's just, they have heard it maybe. And also one time, it's also beautifully described of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. One time an old Gopa comes to Nanda Maharaj and said, hey Nanda Baba, you're already 80 years old and you're so attached to your household life, to your small boy. See, normally when one gets a little older, one, is a little detached. But hey Nanda, you're so attached. And Nanda said, what can I do? I just love my boy. Or also after Govardhan Leela, the Brijvasis have a little doubt. They say, is Krishna not really God? Because he has lifted for 7 days Giriraj, so maybe he's God. He has some special power. Bhargacharya said he's like Narayan, but maybe he's Narayan, or some special demigod. Then they also go to Nanda Baba to clear the doubts. So then Nanda Baba said, hey, you stupid old cowherd boys, or cowherd man. I now understand the saying that a cowherd man never really gets mature and wise and intelligent. Although you are so aged, you are not really wise and intelligent. See, Krishna is here and he's so greedy and crying. So he runs to other houses and steals. He wants to eat so much. So many qualities Krishna has, and you think he's Atamarama, he's God who is self-satisfied. So what, and Aptakama, Aptaram, Aptakama, all these qualities he has. See, you are stupid. This is just my boy. Why do you think he's Narayana? Only because he lifted Giri Govardhan. He only had the power because we gave him so much milk products. And we always worship Narayan in our house every day. Only therefore could Krishna lift Giriraj. So you don't be worried. Krishna is just my boy. So in that way, they don't not really go into the feeling that Krishna is. Thank you so much. Something else? Yes.
I cannot understand how separation brings up the Aishwarya. Because if, like for example, when Uddhava came and he said that, Krishna is everywhere, Krishna is in the heart, and they couldn't accept. He said, no, he's not God, he's like our boyfriend. And also in the beginning of Rasliya, Krishna also addressed them in very, like Swagatam, it's very, like a very Sanskrit, very heavy word to harsh word to greet at that time the gopis. And can you explain it a little more?
It's a little the same feeling, For the gopis, in separation, different moods come up. And Krishna actually relishes different moods. Because if the gopis would always have the same mood, it would be not so interesting. So, according the situation and feelings in the heart, when this feeling of separation, different moods are coming. So it's just, but it is also, then the gopis say, hey, actually, he's just our beloved. They don't believe, they have this, they speak like this, they have maybe some feeling, but internally they never go in the feeling that Krishna is Narayan or Krishna is. But it's interesting when Mahaprabhu went to South India, no? He relished these Aishwarya moods, not because he was attached to Narayan. He didn't relish really the form of Narayan, but the moods that were behind, this was relished by Mahaprabhu. Because also when the gopis went and Krishna came in front of them, in Vrindavan as four-handed Narayan, the gopis just came. Pranams, but where is my Krishna? Where is our Krishna? Please show us. Have you seen him? So they're not really interacting, but it's just a certain mood. So actually all of Mahaprabhu's pastimes more about, maybe I have to stop. It's more about moods. It's not about, it's always in every lila there is the roop and the swaroop. The roop is the external action and the swaroop is the inner moods. So it's always there. And this is what is really interesting. And we said that the Ras Lila is just what is the action of Ras Lilas? This is just anubhavs, expressions of ecstasies, the whole Ras Lila. So it's all expression of the inner heart. And we cannot really have any entrance in Ras Lila or even in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes if we just look to the external action. What is Mahaprabhu doing? And I always say, some devotees always feel Chaitanya Lila is just dancing, eating and singing, not much more. But there is so much more because we cannot stop with the external action, but we have to go to see the internal moods. And therefore especially the commentaries of the Acharyas are very important because they give so much light on these inner moods. All spiritual life is about moods, about intention, it's not about external activities, but always in bhakti, it's about the internal mood and why Mahaprabhu or Krishna do certain things. And when Krishna smiles, all the sages speak ages and ages about why is Krishna smiling. So this is their absorption. Something else? I think then we stop here. So thank you so much for being here. That's wonderful. Tomorrow we will come together once again. I think the Sunday lecture tomorrow, and there we will speak on a bit the some inner light or some mood of Sharanagati. What is a little guideline of Sharanagati? What is the difference between Sharanagati and Bhakti? So I want to put a little light on that. The Sharanagati is actually only an entrance door to Bhakti, but very important. But we will speak, and tomorrow you will all see, wow, Bhakti is so high. So whatever we spoke is actually so high, very deep emotions. But the Acharyas have given us certain entrances, so tomorrow we will speak of that. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.